Okay, so let's start with Common Core. This is a hot topic for people.
Common Core is a set of standards that has been adopted by more than 40 states nationwide and had been adopted by Missouri as well. There was a law that, a bill that was passed and signed into law by Governor Nixon that means Missouri is going to kind of reset things, and while Common Core will take effect this year as far as testing goes, there will be panels of educators and others meeting throughout the state to try to put their own standards together for Missouri. Where this has happened in other states, the names changed, the standards haven't changed all that much, but it remains to be seen what happens. In Missouri, the complaint was that there wasn't enough public input, that there wasn't enough public notice, or even public attention. Sometimes these things slip through without people paying much attention until it's already done. And I think that was the case here. So they'll be starting all over.
Something that a lot of people have paid attention to, whether they are in the sending or receiving districts, was the school transfers that we've heard so much about. Where do we stand with school transfers?
School transfers are still very much with us. The State Board of Education tried to limit the transfers out of Normandy by giving the state giving it a different accreditation status, so that the state law that says students who live in unaccredited districts could move elsewhere would no longer be in play. A judge in St. Louis County said the state board didn't go about that in the right way, so the number of students who can transfer from Normandy to the districts that they attended last year has increased greatly. Every district that received transfers last year, except for Francis Howell, has said they will receive them now. Francis Howell is only accepting the students that the court says they have to. So the lawyer who's been bringing these lawsuits keeps coming back with small groups of students. And every time so far, the judge has said, okay, these students can transfer. So I believe tomorrow he's supposed to go into court and do some more. So the transfers law is still very much with us. And the financial threat to Normandy is still very much with us, because while the state wanted to decrease the amount of tuition that Normandy would have to pay, that apparently isn't going to happen either, and districts can charge whatever they want to charge as far as tuition for the students that they receive.
We had some test scores out. Missouri School Improvement Missouri School Improvement Program scores, MSIP as we often refer to it. Anything noteworthy there? Well,
last year I think people hoped that Normandy would show some improvement. Instead, they actually went down. I believe they only got 7% of the points that they could. So they've got a bigger hole to dig themselves out of. Two of the other districts around here had scored low, Riverview Gardens and St. Louis Public, showed significant gains. So while they're still under the 50% mark that would give them a provisional accreditation, they're at least moving in the right direction. One of the other districts that was provisionally accredited, which is Jennings, scored a big gain, and they're now in full accreditation territory. State Board has said they're generally not going to make any real changes until they've got 3 years of MSIP data. They only have 2 now, but at least the numbers that came out last week show some definite directions that some districts are going, mostly up, some down.
Amendment 3 coming in November to the ballot box. What's the situation there?
The situation there is that there was a petition drive. They turned in enough signatures, and they want to change the teacher tenure law in Missouri. They want to shorten contracts. They want to make it easier for districts to replace teachers who have been there for a while with other teachers. So there will be a whole different set of criteria that could be used for determining whether or not a teacher would still have a job instead of lifetime contracts. There, I believe the contracts would be limited to 3 years. You can get rid of a tenured teacher now, and unions point that out and say it's just a question of due process. And the people who were in favor of Amendment 3 say, no, it's really not helping the kids if teachers can stay entrenched, as opposed to, say, a new teacher who's really good, but if a district has to lay off teachers, it's last in, first out. So right now, Amendment 3 is on the ballot. There was a lawsuit that was filed to try to block it. Judge said last week, or I guess ruled this week, that it can stay on the ballot, but that ruling is going to be appealed.